Welcome to Scam Likely. This is the show where we go inside the world's most infamous cons. I'm your host, Alex Getlin. In this episode, we're learning about Emmanuel Nwood, the Nigerian scammer who sold a fake airport for $242 million. Nwood doesn't fit the mold of what you probably imagine as your typical Nigerian scammer, sending out sketchy emails from some shady internet cafe. In fact, before he was conducting cons, Nwood was the director of the Union Bank of Nigeria. Insight that would prove essential for him to pull off the third largest bank fraud in history.
Dollar bills, y'all.
In 1995, Nwood pretended to be Paul Agwuma, who at the time was the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria. While acting as Agwuma, Nwood contacted Nelson Sakaguchi, who was the director of a Brazilian bank.
Okay, well, that's fraud, and you're a criminal.
He told Sakaguchi about plans to build a new airport, and if the bank invested a measly $242 million, Sakaguchi would personally receive a $10 million commission. Sakaguchi agreed because who doesn't love $10 million?
Show me the money!
Fast forward to 1997, and during an acquisition of the Brazilian bank, they realized that nearly 40% of the bank's capital was just sitting, unmonitored, in the Cayman Islands. You know, the islands where literally every criminal on earth hides their money.
That's suspicious.
This, of course, sent alarm bells ringing, but by this time, Nwood was long gone. It took an international manhunt and 6 years before he was finally caught. In 2004, Nwood was arrested and charged with 86 counts of fraud and 15 counts of bribery. Given Nwood's background, the original judge in the case specifically told him not to bribe any members of the court, or the punishment would be even more severe. Ignoring this warning, because he's a con man, Nwood bribed the court, and the case was thrown out and immediately transferred to one of the highest courts in Nigeria. Now, once again, Nwood attempted to bribe court officials, but this time it backfired and he was hit with an additional charge of bribery. Nwood was found guilty on all charges and sentenced to serve 25 years concurrently, which really means 5 years, and of those 5 years, he only ended up serving 2. He also had to pay a fine of $10 million and, of course, return the stolen money. Despite being found guilty of all charges, Nwood was able to successfully sue the court for some of his money back, arguing that he had earned that money before he committed his con. And he successfully won back $167 million. He won back $167 million.
I'm really rich.
But the story doesn't end here. Now, in 2016, a riot broke out over a land dispute that led to a number of people being killed, including 4 police officers and a security guard.
That is not good.
And this plot was allegedly hatched by a man who needs no introduction. Yep, you guessed it, Emmanuel Nwood. Nwood was taken into custody and charged with 27 counts of attempted murder. Later, his defense attorney issued a plea to be granted bail, stating that Nwood was preparing for cancer surgery. Now, the judge in the case did note that while this was a serious claim, the fact that Nwood was a lifelong con man who had not provided a single shred of evidence proving that he did in fact have cancer or surgery, she quickly denied this request.
Wait for it. Denied.
Today, there are no further developments in the murder case, despite the fact that he's supposedly been awaiting trial since 2018. But let's be honest, it's entirely possible he bribed his way out of trouble yet again, is currently in hiding, planning out his next con. That's Emmanuel Nwood, I'm Alex Getlin, and this is Scam Likely.